Dr. Joyce Nanda, are you online?
Yes, sir, I am online.
Okay. So let us wait for some time.
Okay, sir.
Many students have not joined. Dr. Nanda, let us start our proceedings, today's proceedings. So before I hand over the classroom to Dr. Joyce Nanda, let me first of all welcome all the students who are online today to attend to the classroom, online classroom, which is specifically dedicated to BES-123 Block 3. And I welcome Dr. Joyce Nanda also. Madam, welcome to this online classroom. Thank you
Thank
very
you, sir. Sir, namaskar.
Namaskar. Thank you very much for agreeing to this particular activity, which is a kind of innovative activity on the part of Indira Gandhi Open University to reach out to its students. And all the students have also shown keen interest in attending classes. This is not only B.Ed classes going on, but also there are many classes going on in this kind of situation, that means online classroom situation. And this is for the benefit of all the learners who have enrolled in the Indira Gandhi Open University. Of course, there are many more students yet to log in, but since time is going very fast, without wasting
Yes,
time, we should start our presentation. Today's presentation is specifically dedicated to teaching learning process.
yes, sir.
And our students must agree that it is one of the most important process, and everybody should be well acquainted with the teaching learning process in order to become a successful teacher. In this particular block, so many important topics have been deliberated upon. That means understanding teaching, then planning how to plan your teaching, then how to organize your teaching learning situation, then the resources, how to utilize the resources which are available there, and how to explore resources which are not available, isn't it? How to get resources from outside and include them in your teaching learning situation. So all these things. Then managing classroom, that means classroom management. A teacher is supposed to be a good manager, for managing different curricular and co-curricular activities. Regarding all those things, many different deliberations have been made there in this particular block. And Madam Joyasri Nanda is very much with us. She will be talking about all these aspects one by one. Of course, it is a very lengthy block, and if meticulously discussion is required to be done, then it is absolutely not possible in a span of 2 hours. So, Madam, kindly touch upon the main aspect so that you can not only manage your time but also the entire block can be covered.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so please take over and start your presentation.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. So, welcome to the third block, that is teaching and learning. It's a very lengthy block. Already, I think 14 minutes have gone. Okay, so today's topic is teaching and learning. So before we go to the block, we have already discussed about what is teaching, what is learning, what is pedagogy, what is instruction, and what are the relationship between all these four things. So we should go through one by one. So first we should know what is teaching. Actually, teaching is an activity. Generally, it is held in the classroom. One experienced person is there who is called as the teacher, and he instructs the students by taking a particular topic with a stipulated time, and he took some method, he follows some methodology, that is called teaching. But according to our Oxford Dictionary, teaching means impart knowledge or skill, give instruction or lessons, instill and inspire with. That means when the teacher instructs or when someone imparts knowledge or skill in a formal setup, that is called teaching. Generally, teaching happens in the classroom. So, classroom means that may be a primary classroom, that may be secondary, maybe higher classroom, maybe vocational classroom. So, teaching generally we mean that happens in the formal setting. But what is learning? Learning is not formal. That may happen informally also or non-formally also. We learn from our surroundings also. So learning in the classroom also, learners learn in their surroundings, in natural surrounding, in physical surrounding, they also learn. So learning means when we acquire some knowledge regarding a particular topic, regarding a particular context, regarding a particular content, that is called learning. So learning and teaching, they are interchangeably used, and they are both are related. Then we come and another thing come to our mind. What is teaching? Some people say that teaching is an art, and some people say no, teaching is not an art. It is a science. So how it is an art and how it is a science? Teaching is called as an art because art means there is no scientifically that is not made, or there is subjective thing is there. That's why we call that is an art. Suppose all teachers are not equal. neither in their intelligence, nor in their teaching style, nor in their attitude, nor in their aptitude, personality, skills, etc. That's why we say that teaching is not a science, it is an art. Because it varies from person to person, from teacher to teacher, from context to context. At the same time, we can say that teaching is a science. How? Because teaching took place in a systematic and logical way. Systematic, logically planned way, in a very systematic way, teaching happens. And the teacher always follow some particular technique. When the teacher teaches the science subjects, the topic is already decided, tools are already decided, techniques are already decided, objectives are already formulated. That's why we can say that teaching is also a science. When the teacher teaches science, at that time we can say that teaching is a science. Then comes, what is the interrelationship between teaching, learning, pedagogy, and instruction? What is pedagogy? Pedagogy, teaching is the practical aspect, whereas pedagogy is the theoretical aspect. Pedagogy is the theoretical part of education which helps teachers to know the objectives, process, outcome of teaching process. That means pedagogy is the theoretical part, whereas teaching is the practical part. Before teaching, the teacher follows the pedagogy. Which methods should be followed? Which tools to be taken? Which improvised teaching aids will be taken? So all these things comes under your pedagogy. That means pedagogy is a theoretical part of education which helps teachers to know the objectives, process, outcome of the teaching. Then what is instruction? Instruction was defined as the purposeful direction of the learning. Instruction was defined as the purposeful direction of the learning process and is one of the major teacher's classroom activities along with planning and management. So instruction means the teachers always directs or instructs the students. He gives some directions to the students for a purposeful learning or for the learning process. That's why we call that as instruction. So this is all about teaching, learning, pedagogy and instruction. They are all related. So without teaching, if teacher is not there, learning may happen. But if learners are there, teaching may not happen. Teacher is there because there is learners. Without learners, teacher is useless. Teacher is zero. The teacher is only for the students, only for the learners. So learning can happen in the surrounding, but teaching cannot happen without learners. So learning and teaching is very much related. Then comes the various teaching styles. Today the block is very large, so we should skip some portions which you already know. So come to the teaching style. So what is teaching style? Teaching styles includes the curriculum factors, knowledge factors, personal factors, professional factors, intellectual factors, and career stage factors. Curriculum factors means the nature of subject, teaching methods, assessment policy, syllabus model, all comes under your curriculum factor. Then knowledge factors, the content, the general pedagogical content and knowledge also comes under the knowledge factor. Then what personal factors are included in teaching style? Like your learning style, apprenticeship of observation, then living theories about teaching and learning. All these comes under our personal factors. Then under professional factors, the professionalism and professional identity that comes under the professional factors. Then institutional factors, the school cultural climate that comes under the institutional factors. And career stage factors, under career stage factors, the exploration, commitment, diversification, then heredity and conservatism, all these comes under our uh, carrier stage factors. So all these 6 factors comes under our teaching style. So when the teacher teaches in the classroom, he may follow one or more factors at the time of teaching. So teaching style or more than 3, 4 or all of 6 factors may be taken at the time of teaching. That is called teaching style. Then there are various types of teaching models. Which model will be better for the students? That only can be decided by the teachers. Because before teaching in the classroom, the teacher should know about their learners. What type of learners are there? And which teaching style will be effective for a particular level of students? Or which teaching model will be effective for a particular uh, group of students? That should be decided by the teacher. Because teacher is the king in the classroom. No outer interference. In the school, the principal is the head of your institution. But in the classroom, you are the king. Nobody will say nothing because you are the sole authority of your classroom. So, but that classroom should be democratic. That should not be autocratic. That should be democratic. Democratic means liberty should be given, freedom should be given, no internal or external interference should be there, equality should be given, justice should be given. So all the democratic values should be inculcated in your classroom. As a teacher, it's your role, it's your moral duty to see that all the students, they should feel comfortable. They should be free to do any type of activity. Then only learning will be effective. Learning will be fruitful. So, what is the features of good teaching model? What is the features of good teaching model? The good teaching model, we can say, it should be interactive in nature. So, what is interactive? Interactive means that should not be one-way process. That should be two-way process. That means that should be the teaching learning process should be going on both by the teacher and the students. Students and learners involvement should be there in the teaching learning process. Otherwise, that teaching may not be accepted, may not be interesting for the learners. So that should be interactive nature. Then that should help for better performance of both teacher and learners. So that teaching model, sometimes not only the learners, teachers also feel satisfied, feel good when there is learners involvement. Otherwise, it is very much inactive, not lively. So lively class, we can say that where learners involvement is there. Because we should not think that we know everything. As teachers, we know everything, and the learners who are sitting in front of the teacher, they don't know anything. They are zero. No, no. Because nowadays, learners also know so many things. So through interaction, through participation, through involvement of the learners, we can exchange, we can share our feelings, our ideas, our concepts. Then only teaching learning process will be more fruitful, and the teaching or in the classroom we can feel satisfied, or a satisfaction will be there when there is a live teaching learning process. Then it should have both philosophical and psychological background. So a teaching model, when we are following, that should be based on philosophical and psychological background. Then it should complement the content which is to be taught. So in the classroom, when the teacher decides to teach a topic, or he before teaching, he should go through the content. What is in the content? What ideas can be shared? In which way? What methods should be followed? Which tools will be more appropriate for that particular topic? All these things can be decided beforehand. Then only teaching learning process will be more successful. Now, what are the fundamentals of teaching models? What are the fundamentals of teaching model? First thing is focus. Focus means the teaching model, the main objective for whom it is to be used, that should be decided beforehand. Then syntax. Syntax means all the dimensions of the model are organized sequentially, not haphazardly. That should be used sequentially. Then only we can say there is a syntax. Then principal sensation. Principal sensation means the concept of action reaction is to be maintained to create a bond between teacher and learner. So the teacher should be very much sensitive towards the learner, and learners should be very much sensitive to their peer groups and to the teachers. Then only a good teaching learning process will be can be held. Then social system. What is social system? Social system means the bond and interaction between teacher and learners should prepare them for the society by bringing behavioral change according to the norms of the society. Because both the teachers and learners, they belong to the society. And after the completion of the class, we come back to our society. So we show our behavior in the society, not only in the classroom, but also in the society. So in the society, what behavior we show, that is an important thing. That's why social system should be maintained. Then support system. In support system, the model should be as a supplement to the regular teaching process, which enhances the teaching effectiveness and learning experiences. That means some support system should be there, which will ultimately regulate our teaching learning process. Then application perspective. The use and presentation of the model should be according to the content to be taught. That means when we are learning something, that should have some application, because if we learn a particular thing and we don't know how to apply that particular knowledge in different situations, that means the teaching or that learning is meaningless. So application perspective should be there in teaching models. There are 6 types of there are 4 types of teaching models here. That is, first is your social interaction model, second is your behavior altering model, third is your information development model, and 4 is your personal basis model. So in the social interaction model, that is also divided into 3 groups. First is group investigation model, which is developed by John Dewey and Herbert Philip, and they give importance to pro and anti type of personalities. And in social inquiry model, that is developed by Benjamin Cox and Byron, and it deals with the social and humanity related topics which are rescheduled and proved with the help of data. Then the third model is laboratory model, and that is based on experiments. So first is based on personalities, second is based on the social humanity related topics, and third is based on the laboratory method is based on your experimental method, and that is comes from the science or biology subjects. So these are the 3 models that comes under your social interaction model. Then behavior altering model, that is also divided into 3 types. One is direct model, program model, and practice based. Direct model, that is mostly almost like directive style of teaching discussed earlier in the unit. That means direct in our day-to-day teaching style, that is direct method. We are teaching in front of the students directly. We are not using any computer assisted learning or any electronic gadgets. That is direct model. And program model is, it is program instruction style of teaching, that is CAI or computer assisted instruction. And practice based is, it involves teaching with the help of suitable methods. Like when we are giving some problems to the students, and they are asked to solve their problems by self, That is practice based. Then information development model. Information development model is also divided into three types. That is your Gannes model, your Brunner's model, and Schumann's model. Then personal basis model. In Gannes model, that deals with sensory memory, and Brunner's model that based on the fact that all the objects or events in the environment have relations with each other. That means that is environmental based, and Schumann's model that is based on the strategies and assumptions used by the scientist. So this is all about your information development model. Then fourth is personal based model, that is also divided into three types: non-directive model, self-awareness model, and creative model. The non-directive model was given by Carl Rogers, and he believed in concept of human relations. He believed in the concept of human relations and thus suggested instructions to be based on this model. And self-awareness model that was developed by Fritz Pauls and W. Strauss. Here the development of self is emphasized, where the innate strengths and creativity of learner is given freedom to grow. And this gives them opportunity to know about themselves and their peers. That means self-awareness model gives the chance to know yourself and know your peer groups, which plays an important role in our learning process, because not only the teachers, our peer groups, our friends, or the persons whom we like, they play an important role in our learning process. So in self-awareness model, that gives importance to know yourself and know your peers. Then the creative model that was developed by William Gordon, and which states that projects can be assigned to the learners and they can learn by doing themselves. The project method comes under the creative model, because creativity means that is totally new and novel. That means no two individuals are equal, all are unique. So in creative models, students learn by themselves, and according to their attitude, aptitude, interest, intelligence, they can create new things, they can learn uniquely. So that is creative model. Then teaching methods and approaches. Under teaching methods and approaches, your lecture method, demonstration method, lecture from demonstration method, heuristic and discovery method, and problem solving method, project method, inductive deductive method, analytic and synthetic method that comes. And all these methods are described vividly in the last chapter. We will go one by one. So what is lecture method? Generally, lecture method is very much useful for the higher section, for the higher level, because in higher level students, they are quite mature, they have patience to listen to their teachers. But nowadays, students are not interested for lecture method, because they know so many things and teachers are the facilitators. Only they want some hints from the teachers and they like the problem solving method. Still lecture method is there and it is useful for the higher level of learning. Then demonstration method. Demonstration method is very much useful for differently abled students, because through demonstration our memory will be strengthened. When we see a particular thing in an experiment, in a demonstration, our memory, or we can memorize more things, or our learning will be permanent. Then lecture come demonstration method. This is also a very good method. Some demonstrations and lectures go side by side. So it is also an utilitarian method. Then heuristic or discovery method. In heuristic or discovery method, students are given with some problems and they are asked to discover or inquiry the things, and they come to the conclusion with their own discoveries. This is also an interesting method of or method of teaching or model of teaching for the students of or young students. Then the problem solving method. This is also a very important and very effective method of teaching nowadays. Students like very much this method, that is problem solving method, because problems, to solve the problems, and after solving the problems, the solution gives us permanent learning. The problem solving method is also a very good method. We can describe this problem solving method in the last chapter. So I am escaping here. I will describe it in vivid way in the last chapter. Then the project method. What is the project method? Project method means we are giving some projects and students by using internet, by using books, by using referring the library, they uh, come with their complete project report. That is project method. Then inductive deductive method means deductive method means in inductive method we go through from we are moving from the specific to general, and in deductive method from um, general to specific. Generally, we follow this method in our lesson plan also. Then analytic and synthetic method. Analytic and synthetic method means that is from unknown to known and known to unknown. This can also be described in the last chapter. So comes to the interactive phase. So what is interactive phase? Interactive phase means according to Johnson, in the interactive stage, the teacher provides pupils verbal stimulation of various kinds, makes explanation, asks questions, listen to the learner's response, and provide guidance. So in interactive phase, according to Jackson, interactive phase means uh, in interactive phase, what the teachers generally do in the interactive stage, the teachers provide people's verbal stimulation of various kinds, and they make them explanation, ask questions, listen to the learner's response, and provide guidance. କିଛି ପଚାରନ୍ତି, କିଛି ବୁଝନ୍ତି, କିଛି କୁହନ୍ତି ଏବଂ ତାପରେ he ମାର୍ଗଦର୍ଶନ କରନ୍ତି, then he proceeds to the next phase. So, in interactive process occurs between teachers and learners, wherein teacher presents new content by linking it with previous knowledge of the learners. In your classroom also, you are also doing that. Before introduction, you just recapitulate the knowledge of the students, the previous knowledge of the previous chapter. You just, in your introductory questions, what you do, you will just relate your question with the previous chapter. So, what are the main activities performed in this phase? That is, first of all, the teacher must have a quick glance and overview of the class. The teacher must have a quick glance and overview of the class. He should see the class, either it is conducive or not, properly arranged or not. So, a cursory look should be given by the teacher. Then an attempt should be made to establish a connection with the learners so that they feel a sense of familiarity. So, before starting your teaching, you should, this is not possible to go near to all the students. No, you just look at them with a smile, then only they will feel that teacher is very much concerned for them. That motivates them to learn. Then quick review of the level of class, their interest, aptitude, and abilities should be done by asking questions based on the previous knowledge. When the teacher is asking the questions that ultimately help them to know the previous knowledge of the students. If most of the students are unable to give correct answer, that means they are unable to uh, they are very much unable to give. If they are most of the students they give incorrect answer, that means they don't understand it properly. So it is the duty of the teacher, in a very nutshell, they will explain the thing before the students. Then proceeds for the next step. Then, after judging them, teacher must utilize proper method and technique to present the content before the learners. So it is the sole duty of the teachers that when the teacher wants to teach a particular topic, and in the previous topic, if it is correlated and the teacher asks some questions, if the students, most of the students are able to give you the correct answer, at that time, the teacher's uh, duty is not to teach them. At that time, he may follow some method like discovery method or project method or problem solving method. Then only when the students they know 90% of things and the 10% can be learned by themselves. So the teacher should give them freedom to learn by themselves. He at that time he should follow the project method or the discovery method or the project method. Then only they will be able to learn it and that ultimately create interest among them. So they will be self-motivated. When the students, the teachers, they just uh, give them the opportunity to do by themselves. Okay, students, you can do it by yourself. This is a project for you. You just solve it within 24 hours, or I am giving you 2 hours and you just give me a report. All these things that will ultimately motivate the students. Then communication process must be two-way process so that it is interactive class. So in the classroom, the teachers in the teaching learning process, the teaching learning process should not be one way. Only teacher speaks and speaks, and students just sit in front of you like deaf and dumb children. That means that is not active learning. The classroom should not be lively. To make your classroom lively, to make your classroom an interactive session, to make them active, two-way communication process must be there. Not only teacher, students should be given freedom to ask questions. They should give some hints when asked for. Then the post-active phase. In the post-active phase, what happens? After the completion of the teaching, the teachers should in this phase, the teachers, we can say this phase as the winding up phase, because after the completion of a particular portion, the teachers should know that whether what objectives are formulated before that should be achieved or not. In the post-active phase, the teachers begins as soon as the teaching process comes to an end, and he should know about the students that what objectives was previously formulated by the teachers, that is properly, or the target is properly fulfilled or not. Then comes to the maxims of teaching. So what is the maxims of teaching? So in the maxims are nothing but simple guidelines or principles which helps the teacher to take decisions and act accordingly during the teaching. So at the teaching process, at that time also the teacher should follow some rules or principles that we can call that as maxims. So maxims of teaching means the content of maxims of teaching means first point is simple to complex. Simple to complex. When the teacher teaches in the classroom, he should follow this principle, simple to complex. Because simple things a child knows. Then he correlates the simple thing into complex things. Then only it will be easier for the students to understand that particular concept. Then known to unknown. So what is known to unknown? Suppose known things, when we relate the known things with unknown things, it will be easier for the students to understand. Then concrete to abstract. Like concrete objects, we see it. But abstract things, that is happiness, sorrow, pleasure, your nirvana, all these abstract things are not, we cannot feel it. We only just feel it. We cannot touch it. So the teacher's role is, or teacher's duty is to, he should relate or he should proceed from concrete things to abstract things. Then direct to indirect. First, the teacher should follow direct methods, then he should follow the indirect methods. Then he should proceed from particular to general, from a particular case to a general case. Then he should follow analysis to synthesis and empirical to rational. Then he should follow from psychological to logical. So these are the maxims of teaching, and also from whole to part and from indefinite to definite. So these are the maxims of teaching. Then the levels of teaching. There are 5 levels of teaching. Those are reception, application, extension, creation, and challenge. These are the 5 levels of teaching. In the reception stage, that is the introduction stage, informative stage, then after that we come to the application stage, then extension stage, then creation stage. In creation stage, students are asked to create new things. When they are simply oriented about a particular topic, they are simply asked to create a new thing. And in the challenge step, they are also given some challenge, or through project method, through problem solving method, they can solve their problems. Then teaching as a complex activity. So teaching is not a simple activity, it is a very complex activity. But nowadays, teaching is not regarded as a, in our primitive ages, we can say that teachers are the backbone of the society, teachers are the role models of the society, teachers are in the highest position just after God, teachers are placed. But nowadays, due to compulsion, when we are not getting any other profession, other jobs, we are just joining in the teaching profession. That is not good. Teaching should be your passion. If teaching should be your passion, then only a teacher will teach perfectly. So, what are the qualities, characteristics of a teacher? That's why we can say that teaching is not a simple activity, it's a complex activity, because teaching students or learners are not non-living things, they are living things. They have emotions, they have creativity, they have so many psychological traits. So the teacher deals with the environment, with the learners, with their aspiration, with their sense, with their problems. So teaching is a very tough profession now. So teaching is a challenging job, and it involves. So if someone wants to be a teacher, if teaching profession is your passion, then a teacher should be intelligent with very good IQ, and he should be knowledgeous, and he should able to satisfy the learner's quest. Then he should logical preparation and presentation with clear objectives and goals. Then he should be rational and sensitive, and he should shown, he should have shown and developed in learners. Then uh, he should be very much strengthful, both in physical and mental state, and he should be able to face stress and criticism. Then expressive with ideas and thoughts without fear and apprehension, and fervent and ardent, that is enthusiastic and zealous towards his work. He should be workaholic, karmahi jivana, I must do this. So this type of feeling should be in him. Then warmth and empathy in order to bond with class. He should be empathetic, because he should place himself in the place of the learners. That means that is empathetic. To understand a particular situation, we should place ourselves in that particular situation. That is empathy. So teachers should be empathetic. Then he should be sensitive towards learners who face problems. Suppose one learner, he has a particular problem, then it is the moral duty of the students. He should, it is the moral duty of the teachers. He should uh, be very much sensitive towards that problem. He should be empathetic to that learner and he should solve that particular problem. Then the teacher simultaneously upgrading and updating oneself with new discoveries. Then teachers orienting oneself by continuous short-term courses or workshops. Teachers should always join some workshops, seminars, conferences, then your orientation programs. Then only his knowledge level will upgraded. Then evaluating oneself and learners. The teacher should evaluate himself or herself. That is self-assessment. Then be updated with curriculum and content. He should be updated with curriculum and content. Then only teaching will be more effective. Then using innovative strategies in and out of class settings. He should always use innovative strategies. Not that what the government said. The government is saying that government always said, please use this method, don't use that method. No, you are the king in your classroom and you know very well what is the need of your learners, what is the aspiration of your learners, what is their IQ level, what is their creativity level. So as a teacher you know better than the government, so you should use the particular model, the particular technique or the particular method which is more applicable for them. So use that, then only your teaching will be more effective. Then other miscellaneous work other than class teaching. Not only the teacher teaches in the class, he also involved in so many other activities. Like he is always involved in your census work in this pandemic, your COVID uh, um, precautionary measure works. He also involved in your child census work. So many other activities he always involved. Especially the primary school teachers, they are involved in so many types of work. And in higher education teachers, they are also involved in so many works like evaluation, question setting, your examination, teaching, seminars, workshops, orientation programs. So many works are there. In NAC, accreditation, your IQAC, for they are also working for your IQAC, internal quality assessment cell. So many different types of works are there for the teachers, and teachers are not sitting in an idle position. They are always doing anything or anything. Okay. So this is all about the teaching activity. Then we can say that teaching is a profession. Yes, teaching is a profession. We know that teaching is a profession. Professionalism should be there in teaching learning process. Or as a teacher, we should be act as a professional. Professional means we should give importance to the to our to the aspiration level of our learners. And teachers, they are counted as the role models of the society. Society always expects some moral values from the teachers, and teachers, just students, they follow their teachers as their role models. They always follow their teachers. So the character of the teachers should be very much clean, moral. Teacher should possess a moral character. Then only their students, and they are involved in a very noble profession. So this profession is a very noble profession because all professions, or we are creating all professionals. Our teachers are the creator of all professionals. An engineer, a doctor, a teacher, an artist, a dancer, a singer, all are the creations of the teachers. So in the classroom, all so many types of learners are there, and all types of professionals, they are created from that classroom, and teacher is the creator. So teaching is not a simple profession, it's a very tough profession, a complex profession, and teachers should act as a professional. Then, role of teacher in providing dynamic curricular experiences. So, dynamic curricular experiences means not only learners learn from their curriculum, but also they learn so many things from their extracurricular activities. So it is the duty of the teachers that they should look after all these things, because in the classroom they are learning only their syllabus, but from their co-curricular activities they learn about how to speak in a debate competition, how to write a letter or write an essay, or how to compete in a art competition, how to play, how to become an athlete. So many types of activities are there in the school curriculum, and as a teacher, we should encourage our students how to participate, how to be involved in all these types of activities. Then only our personality will be developed, and all-round development will be possible when we involve our learners in all these types of activities. Then the next chapter is planning, teaching, learning. So how we plan the teaching learning process. So teacher is a planner, teacher is a manager, teacher is everything in the classroom. So teacher, how he should plan his classroom, because teaching is a very complex thing. So before teaching, the teacher should be very much careful and sensitive about so many things. First, he should be very much careful about the school environment, because school, we can say it's a mandira. Vidyara gote mandira ame jo kohuche, that means school is a place of God. So where education is given, that is a place of Lord Ganesh or Goddess Saraswati. So that place is very much holy place. So our school environment should be very much clean, should be uh, very much free from antisocial activities. That should be full of greenery. All teachers, they should have a very cordial relationship, and all teacher students interpersonal relationship should be good. So all these things should be there. Then only we can say that the school environment is very much conducive for the students. So in not only our school environment, our physical environment also plays an important role in our teaching learning process. So physical environment means in our school, we should take care of the proper ventilation, air, noise, water, green space, etc. In a classroom, suppose 100 students are there, and the sitting arrangement is only for 80 students. So 20 students, they are just sitting in a very uncomfortable way. So that is not a very good classroom. So the teachers should also look after the physical environment, the proper sitting arrangement, the ventilation, the light, no noise, not a noisy environment. So proper drinking water facility should be there. So all these comes under your physical environment, and it is the duty of the teachers. He should look after all these things. Then the psychological environment. Psychological environment means a child should free feel to live in that place, because in some classes, some students, they just tease others. If the student learner is very shy nature learner, then other students who are very smart, who thinks they are very smart, they are not really smart, they just tease the students, and the students, he feel very much insecure, he feel ashamed, and he don't want to come to the school, he is not comfortable. So it is the duty of the teachers is to look after all these things. Proper discipline should be maintained, then only students will feel free, liberty should be there. Students should feel secure that my teacher is there. If someone will tease me, then he will punish him. So I am free, I am secure, I must go to the school. So this is all about our physical environment, and this is the duty of the teacher. He should look after all these things. Then learners are the important, the core component of entire teaching learning. So the entire teaching learning process is based upon the learners, because learners are the core components of that entire teaching learning process. So learners, they are not equal type of learners are there. There is individual difference. No two individuals or no two learners are equal in any type of physical, physiological or psychological or mental characteristics. So it is the duty of the teachers. He should learn. He should know about their learners, what type of learners they are, whether they are genius, whether they are dull, whether they are creative, whether they are very they have some behavioral problems, whether they are very much shy nature. So according to their emotions, according to their mental process, according to their psychological traits, according to their aspiration, so all these things will be taken care of, and the teacher should divide them into groups and accordingly he should teach. Then content. This is also an important thing. Before teaching, the teacher should consider the content. What should be my content? What are the major ideas? What are the minor ideas? What major ideas I should inculcate? What minor ideas that should be inculcated among the learners? And what relations between the all major ideas? What relations between the major and minor ideas? All these things should be very much taken care of. Then planning for teaching. So before teaching, the teacher should plan very well. You are very much acquainted with this factor, that what is unit plan, what is lesson plan. You are doing every day. If I will not, we will not do this, then I will we are very much we are always dependent upon this mechanism of our government. We should do our lesson plan. Not only you, we are also doing our lesson plans. So after completion of the class, we should do our lesson plan. Otherwise, nistara nahi morijibar achi jodi ki asigala tale chakiri goal. So this should not be in our mind. Yes, unit plans, lesson plans is a very important for the teachers. Because before teaching, lesson plan is very much important. What should I teach? Which content? What methodology I should follow? What tools I will take? In which group? Which teaching model I should follow? So all these things are very much required. So this is an important thing. Not only the government, we should not blame the government. We should be take care about all these things. So the teacher should be dutiful. He should do all these things. So we are doing our unit plans, our lesson plan. Unit plans means that plan is for a particular unit, and lesson plan means that is for a particular lesson, particular subtopic. You are very much well acquainted with this. Till then, I just in a nutshell, I am saying that in a unit plan, that is subject or course, you just write the unit name, the class, then the previous knowledge or entry behavior of the learners, that should be written. Then the major objectives of the unit, that also should be written in the unit plan. Then overview of the theme of the unit. Your view or overview about the theme of the unit. Then there are 4 things, that is the sub-units or the teaching topics or the number of periods required for that particular topic, that should be written in that column. Then major teaching points under each topic. What major teaching points or major ideas you want to teach, that should be written. Then the specific subject ideas or the minor ideas, that should be written. Then the methods, media, tools, approaches adopted by the teacher for the pupils, that should be written. Then you just write down the references of the people, references of the teachers, and evaluation and assignment. This is the unit plan. Then comes to the lesson plan. You know very well what is a lesson plan. Lesson plan is for a particular lesson. So, what is a lesson plan? Lesson plan is a teacher's detailed description of the course of instruction or learning trajectory for a lesson. So, lesson plan is a teacher's detailed description about a particular topic or instruction or a course. So, in a lesson plan, we just elaborate the things, that which methods we have followed, and what is going on in the classroom, what questions should be asked, which questions will be asked in which method, which stage. All these things are described in your lesson plan. So in a lesson plan, the format is like that: the subject, the target group or the class, then you write the topic, then the entry behavior of the students, then the general objectives of this topic, the specific objectives of the topic, the methods and media followed by the teacher, then you come to the introduction stage, then you come to the presentation stage. In presentation stage, the teaching points in sequence, specific objectives in behavioral terms, and learning experience, the teacher's activities and pupils' activities, and partial evaluation. And the next, you just recapitulation, revision, and evaluation you are doing. Then home assignments given by the teachers and blackboard work plan for the. This is all about your lesson plan. So lesson plan, you are very much well acquainted with your lesson plan. I don't think you need more description. So lesson plan is very much needed because it helps the teacher to follow the sequence, or it goes through syntax. So then comes to the next topic, that is your behavioristic lesson plan. So
Madam, I interrupt you for a second.
yes, sir.
Dear students, regarding how to prepare a good lesson plan, there will be discussion in the workshop. When we will be conducting your workshop, so all the details will be discussed in detail, and practically you will prepare a lesson plan there, which will be corrected by the resource persons, isn't it? So all details will be clearly discussed.
That's why I am not describing.
No problem. I know that. No problem. You can go ahead. It's all right.
Thank you. So in the behavioristic lesson planning, what steps are there in behavioristic lesson planning? First step is purpose or objective. What is your objective? Then second is your anticipatory set or focus. Then you focus in on which topic, on which objective. Then third is input. What input should be given for that particular topic? Then modeling. Modeling means in this level the teacher shows a graphic form of demonstrates to his learners. He shows some models, charts, pictures, graphs, and he just the teacher throughout the lesson, and that behavior what a teacher wishes learners to imitate. In modeling stage, the teacher shows some models, and he just encourage the students to learn through those teaching aids. Then guided practice, then checking for understanding. Then the next step is independent practice and closure. In guided practice, what happens? The teacher leads the learners through the step essential to perform, get the skill by hearing, looking, and doing. In guided practice, the teacher just encourages the students to go through step by step. He just develop the skills of hearing, looking, doing. Then only students will learn. Because so many, we have already discussed in our classroom, 3 types of students are there: visual, auditory, 4 types: work. Visual, auditory, reading, writing type, and kinesthetic learners. The visual type, they always like to see something, and the audio type, they always want to listen something, and reading, writing, they want to always read and write, through that they learn, and kinesthetic, they always like to follow some activities because they are very much hyperactive students. So the teachers should guided practice in under guided practice. The teachers should give importance to various types of activities. Then only students will be encouraged to learn. Then the checking for understanding means at this level the teacher tries to check the understanding of concepts learners have acquired during the transaction of lesson. So then the next step is independent practice. In independent practice, when learners are able to know all the things in a clear-cut manner, then they are given the chance to reproduce that thing in a different manner. So in independent practice, they are given some homework and they justify themselves that their understanding level is up to the mark, which objectives are formulated by the teacher. So in closure, the teacher just questions for assessment sake. The teacher just asks some questions and he very much satisfy himself that what objectives has been fixed by him at the introduction stage, that is totally fulfilled. So this is all about our behavioristic lesson planning. So then comes to the concept mapping as a strategy for planning. So what is concept mapping? Actually, concept maps, according to Novak and Canas, concept maps are graphical tools for organizing and representing knowledge. They include concepts usually enclosed in circles or boxes of some types and relationship between concepts indicated by a connecting line linking two concepts. Words on the line referred to as linking words or linking phrases specify the relationship between the two concepts. Suppose for a small child, you want to give a concept like fish. They know what is fish that lives in the water. Then you show whales, your crabs, so many aquatic organisms, and you conceptualize one by one. Then they will be able to know this comes under this group. Again, if you want to give the concept like wild animal and pet animals. So animals, again you divided into wild animals and pet animals through arrow mark. Then in wild animals group, you can include tiger, bear, etc. etc. In pet animals, cow, goat, etc. etc. dog, etc. etc. So they will be able to know, yes, these things come under this category, these things comes under this category. This is a very good um, model for the small children. So concept maps, according to Joseph Novak, who developed the idea in 1970, the concept maps are tools for organizing and representing knowledge in hierarchical structure. Hierarchical structure. So Novak has developed this idea, this concept map in 1970. And the concept map helps the teachers in the following manner, like concept maps increase the potential of teachers to formulate the multiple ways of constructing meaning for diverse group of learners. Because in the classroom, only one type of children are not there. Diverse group of learners are there in a classroom. So it helps the teacher to teach them. Then it provides opportunities for teachers to know how learners may see or organize knowledge differently. Again, it gives a concrete knowledge. Then again, concept maps help selecting appropriate instructional materials. And concept mapping also helps to develop well-integrated, continuous, and logically sequenced in content. Then, with the help of concept maps, teachers can design the content of the study that is relevant, meaningful, and interesting. And concept maps also helps in holistic style of learning. And concept mapping helps to reduce abstract knowledge to concrete diagrammatic representation. So this is all about the advantages of concept mapping. Then comes to your constructivist lesson planning, that is 5E model. That also you learn it from your workshop. Still, I want to explain and outside that 5E model. 5E means there are 5 E's. What are those E's? First E means we engage. Engage, explore, explain, elaborate, and evaluate. So what is engage? Now before in your classroom, you just first engage your students. Because in your school there is 6, 7 or 7 to 8 periods are there. So in 8 periods, students mostly they learn 6, 7 subjects every day. So in between the transit period, suppose in the first period that is English period, the second period is science period. So English is totally different from science. So in this transit period, the students they are distracted. They talk with each other. So they are unable for multiple processing. So this transit period in between this transit period, they just create some indiscipline in the classroom. So it is your moral duty that you should engage them. When the teacher enter to the class, first you engage them. How you engage them? By asking some questions, or you may instruct them to do something. Students, look here, or look at this picture. You engage. First you engage them, then they will show interest for a particular thing, or you to create their attention towards you, towards the teaching, towards the topic, towards the class. So you should first engage them, then explore. We know very well that nowadays teachers act as the facilitators. There is no need to teach, because in spiral curriculum, you know, the major components are given previously. So that is spiral, circularly or spirally, they are from small concept to big concepts, they are going on. So you first want to know what the students really know. So you explore that whether what you want to teach them, whether they have some level of knowledge for that particular topic or not. So through asking some questions, you can know what is their knowledge level for a particular topic. So you just give them scope and you explore their knowledge level. Then you explain. After knowing their level, that they are knowing 30% of that particular topic or 40% of that particular topic, most of the students they know, you always teach according to the average level students, because in the classroom there are three types of students are there. First type, they are the uh, below average type, and above average type. Mainly three types of students are there. So generally, all teachers they follow the teaching learning methods or procedures that is more applicable for the average level students. Because if you teach the students for the highest level students or for the genius students, that may not be beneficial for the below average or average students. If we will teach for below average students, then the average and genius or the above average students may not show interest for that particular topic. So always the teacher follow that teaching methods or the techniques which will be more applicable for the average level students. So after engage, then explore, then you explain the things before the students. You are now very much acquainted with the students, you know their knowledge level, then you explain the things. After explanation, you elaborate the things before the students. So after explain and elaboration, you just evaluate. In evaluation stage, you evaluate them, that what you have taught to them, whether they are able to apply their previous knowledge or apply the knowledge in the new situation or not, or what objectives you have formulated for them in your first stage, that is fully um, effective or not. So in the evaluation stage, the teachers just evaluate the students' achievement level. So this is all about your 5E model. Then come to organizing, teaching and learning. That is your unit 10. So what are the designing instructions? Or how we design the instructions? While we selecting an instructional approach, a teacher has to follow some basic steps. Those are, first the teachers should know the learners. First, he should divide or group the learners according to their diverse backgrounds. We have already, yesterday we have already discussed that in Indian schools, the diversity is more. From different cultural, social, educational, economic backgrounds, students are coming. They are speaking different type of languages. They are from different type of places. They are from different types of religions. They are from different cultural societies. So all these factors should be taken care of by the teacher. So teachers should know their learners very well. And what type of learners? Because sometimes in a particular batch, most of the students are very disciplined. Sometimes we feel that most of the students are very much indisciplined. And we cannot say that all indisciplined students are dull. Actually, all indisciplined type of students, they have intelligence. That's why they are indisciplined. So, it is the duty of the teacher how to handle the students. Because we are the creator. We are the controller. We are the managers. We are the professionals. We can handle these students. The students, before knowing them, before knowing the learners, it is very much impossible on the part of the teachers to handle them. So, before teaching, the teachers should know the learners. Then, grade level of the learners. So, teachers should also know the grade level of the students, because in the previous examinations, what grade the students have secured, and according to their achievement level, the teachers should divide them into different groups. That only that will help the teacher to teach them effectively. Because the teacher, if in group A all good students will be there, or the same IQ level students will be there, then the teacher will follow some different method for them. The teacher will follow some different method for the normal or average children. So, grade level of the learners is the second stage. Then the subject matter. The teacher should decide what subject matter should be taught in the classroom. Then intended learning outcomes. What learning outcomes will come? Learners will be able to define their terms reflection, or learners will be able to state the laws of reflection, or learners will be able to verify the laws of reflection. If we were teaching the students about reflection, then after the completion of the topic, students will be able to tell all these things. Then learning environment. Before teaching, the teachers should know about the learning environment. That should be conducive. Proper ventilation should be there. Proper light arrangement should be there. No noise should be there. For drinking facility should be there. Proper sitting arrangement should be there. All these things should be taken care of. Then available resources. So before teaching and before following a particular method or model, the teacher should be very much aware of the available resources. Suppose sometimes some teachers they want to teach in teach through electronic devices. Then what will happen? But if there is no electric facility in your school, then that method will not be effective. In our college, in 2007 or 8, I think, we have arranged a seminar for our students. That is, learning is an endless journey towards perfection. And we just invited RD sir, Dr. S.K. Tripathi sir, to our college. And today also I am feeling very sorry that due to some electric problem, we are unable to provide him the projector. And he just, through lecture method, he just give his talk to our students, we felt very sorry. So that means we should a backup should be there. A battery system should be, if there should be a backup system, then only we will be able to use some electronic devices. So it is the duty of the teacher. He should know what available resources are there in his school, what resources are available in his school, and at that particular time is that available or not. We know that in our college all things are there, but in between these 2 months, maybe some electric problem may be there, or maybe some technical problem may be there. So teachers should be very much confirm about the resources, that whether all the machineries they are working properly or not, whether the electric facility is working properly or not. So after knowing all these things, or after knowing the available resources of the institution, the teacher should follow some approaches or some models. Then the teacher's ability, that is the most important thing. So teacher's ability is another criteria that needs to be considered while selecting an instructional method. So this is all about your design of instruction. Then teacher-centered method. Okay, we are very much nowadays we are believe in student-centered learning. Still, some teacher-centered methods are also working, like your lecture method. In higher education stage, till today, we are following the lecture method. And which is read. Until the 16th century, that the word was used to describe oral instructions given by a teacher. So lecture method that have some advantages also. So in lecture method, what are the advantages? In lecture method, the teacher control is there, no indiscipline. The teacher controls the classroom. So teacher control is there. New materials. The teacher may show some new materials to the students, and it is effortless. Students just sit silently or passively. So that is effortless. So these are the advantages. And disadvantages: one-way communication. So in one-way communication, the last bench student may sleep. What the teacher is doing, the 15th bench students, he just take a snap and say that teacher is, I am not visible to the student, to the teacher. So I just a nap, take a nap. So this is all about one-way communication. Then it is passive listeners are there. In lecture method, there is no active communication, so learners became passive. Then strong speaker expectations. When we are telling about lecture method, so if the teacher or a lecturer who teach you, he must be a great orator, or he should be a very good speaker, then only students will be active. Otherwise, the teaching learning process will be very much passive. Then demonstration method. Demonstration method works on the principle of activity centeredness and to some extent on child centeredness. So demonstration method is also a very good method, because a good demonstration method depends upon the following aspects. So what aspects? Now, suppose demonstration should be planned and rehearsal. If a good demonstration is there, then students will show their interest, and if interest is there, then the learning will be effective. Then purpose of demonstration. So your purpose of demonstration should be very good, or that should have a positive relationship. What you want to demonstrate, that should be very much correlated with your topic. Otherwise, sometimes we are demonstrating something and our topic is something that means that is useless. So purpose of demonstration should be very much clear. Then active participation of learner. In demonstration method, the learners, they actively participate, because they just see what is, they just observe what is going on, what the teacher is showing to us, what is happening, how it is happening. So it is very much active process. Then training in scientific thinking. In demonstration method that teach the students to think scientifically. So these are the following aspects, and it has some merits. That means it inculcates the habit of scientific thinking among learners, and it is psychologically sound method, and the limitations are also there. The demonstration method is time consuming, and also it is not economical, and all the topics and contents cannot be covered through this method, and it is resourceful method, and so sometimes teachers is unable to organize materials required for demonstration. Then team teaching. In team teaching, a group of teachers teach in a team. So in team teaching, some resourceful persons, they are constituting a team and they teach. So it is a very good teaching learning method. The characteristics of team teaching is, first, group of teachers are there. They have joint responsibility, and there is cooperative teaching, and specific competencies are there. Teachers who have competence in one aspect, he show his competence in that aspect. Teachers who is very much competent in another thing, he just show his competence in that thing. So specific competencies should be there, and need centered. It is very much need based or need centered, and autonomy of teachers should be there. That means teachers are given maximum liberty. Then flexibility in teachings, no rigidity is there. Teachers are very much flexible to teach anything. Then improvement in teaching learning process. So in team teaching, there is an improvement in teaching learning process, and then pooling of resources. So in team teaching, resources are pooled up so as to benefit learners at large and help teachers individually. So the advantages of team teaching is better planning, improvement in teaching, benefit for specialization, useful for bright learners, then optimal utilization of resources, better interaction, and flexibility. And disadvantages is it is very costly affair, and lack of material facilities are there. That's why it may not be possible in every class for team teaching. Then lack of cooperation. If teachers they don't have cooperation, that then it may not happen. Then lack of accountability, and difficulty in maintaining harmony, and non-availability of specialized teachers. Sometimes it is not possible that specialized or resource persons are available for team teaching. Then learner-centered method. I have already taught this chapter in block 2. What is learner-centered or the child-centered approach? Child-centered approach means the child is the core, or the entire teaching learning process is going on, and child is the center, or the learner is the center of teaching learning process. That is child-centered approach. So in learner-centered method, inquiry approach is there. So what is inquiry approach? Inquiry approach is a act upon their curiosity and interest. So learners became actively involved in learning process through this inquiry approach. In this inquiry approach, they act upon their curiosity and interest, develop questions, then think their way through controversies or dilemmas, and look at problem analytically, and inquire into their perceptions and what they already know, and develop, clarify, and test hypotheses, and draw inferences and gender-specific solutions. So this is all about your inquiry method, and the stages of inquiry method is orientation, conceptualization, investigation, conclusion, and discussion. And the advantages of inquiry method is learning is based on the direct experiences of the learner, which makes content easier and comprehend. It develops ability of the learners for experimentation. It minimizes verbal learning. Inquiry is based on constructivist approach. And limitations are the trainers of teachers to facilitate learners' learning through inquiry. The school textbooks are not written on the basis of inquiry learning. So this is very much difficult on the part of the teacher to follow this inquiry method. Then inquiry learning requires plenty of resources. Inquiry approach is time consuming, and inquiry approach is time consuming. Therefore, syllabus completion is very much impossible in inquiry method. Then comes the problem solving method. It is a very good method. So, what is the characteristics of problem solving method? That it begins with the assumption that learning is an active, integrated, and constructive process influenced by social and contextual factors. Then it is characterized by a learner-centered approach with teachers as facilitators rather than disseminators. It is based on purposeful activity, and it is based on scientific skills and abilities like reflective thinking and reasoning. So, what are the steps involved in problem solving method? First, recognize and define the problem. In the first step in problem solving method, first step is we should recognize or define what should be our problem. Then the second step is analyze the problem to determine its root cause. So the students should analyze what is the root cause of the problem. So from the grassroots level, from the root level, they should work. Then in the second step, when they are analyzing the problem, they just determine what happened, determine why it happened, then figure out what to do to reduce the likelihood that will happen again. And in third stage, they just generate alternative solutions. And in fourth stage, they select a solution. So first recognize problem, analyze problem, then generate alternative solutions, then select solution. And fifth is implement the solution, then sixth is evaluate the outcome. So these are the problem solving stages of problem solving method. So what is the advantages of problem solving method? The advantages are it ensures the active participation of the learner in the teaching learning process, and learners become active, they are regular, they develop a scientific outlook, then they are that creates curiosity and interest among the students, and it provides learners opportunity to face the problems. It learners will be benefited by each other and they share the ideas and help each other, and it improves the ability of learners to identify problem and put forward hypothesis. So this is all about the advantages of problem solving method. But still it has some disadvantages. Those are it takes too much time, it is time consuming process, it is not economical. Sometimes it is not possible to apply this method for all disciplines. Sometimes it creates burden for the learners. Sometimes evaluating the learners through this method is very much difficult. So these are the disadvantages of this method. Then come to the group-centered methods, that is brainstorming. So what is brainstorming? Brainstorming is generally called out of the box thinking rather than thinking on the established pattern. Brainstorming means when we are giving chance to our students or giving ample opportunities to the students to think, or they just think in a critical manner and they come out with some good ideas and new concepts. So brainstorming nowadays it is considered as a very good method of teaching. So what are the rules of brainstorming? First, focus on quantity. Focus on quantity should be given. No criticism. So focus on quantity means all types of students should come to the class. Even the below average students, above average students, genius, normal students, all types of students are very much welcome to the group. Then no criticism. All are equally treated, all are equally given importance, no criticism. All types of ideas should be welcomed by the teacher. Then unusual ideas are welcome. So unusual ideas will be welcomed by the teacher. Then combine and improve ideas. So when so many types of students are there and different types of ideas comes, so the teachers welcome everyone and he welcome the most unusual ideas or unique ideas, and he just combine and improve the ideas. So this is a very good type of teaching learning process, because teachers just think in one side. Sometimes when different types of ideas comes from our learner side, that means a very good or very qualitative teaching learning process may be going on through brainstorming. The procedure of method is the teacher just set the problem, create background memo, and select the participants. Teachers just give a problem to the group of students. He create the group and give the problem to the students. He just teacher who will render the different types or disseminate the different types of ideas comes from the students to the teacher. Then he selects the participants, then create a list of lead questions. Some lead or important questions should be created, and conduct session. The teacher should conduct session where the leaders presents the problem and if needed provides further explanation. Leaders invites ideas from the brainstorming panel, and in the case of paucity of ideas, leaders suggest lead questions to encourage creativity. Every participant presents his or her ideas, and the idea collector records them, and the ideas need to be elaborated to improve its quality. And leader organizes the ideas based on the topic goal and encourages discussion. Then the whole list is reviewed to ensure that everyone understands the ideas. Then duplicate ideas and obviously infeasible solutions are removed. Then the leader thanks all participants and gives each a token of appreciation. So no criticism is there. Everyone should be given importance, and leaders just disseminate the new ideas, and new and unique ideas are welcomed by the teacher. And this is all about your brainstorming. Then what is cooperative learning? Cooperative learning means cooperative learning is a powerful learning instructional method in which group of learners work together to solve a particular problem. So, so many types or a group of teachers works for a particular problem. So that is cooperative learning. So the first step of cooperative learning is organize learners into groups. Second, identify ideas or topics, and it is also some similarities with brainstorming. Organize learners into groups, then identify ideas or topics. Then in third step, ask each group to provide a preliminary outline of their study or project. Then in fourth step, monitor the investigation. Then in fifth stage, help learners to prepare their final reports. So, and in sixth step, assist each group to identify learners to take part in presenting their report. And in seventh step, evaluate the investigation and project. So this is all about our cooperative learning. So what is the advantages of cooperative learning? In cooperative learning, the group provides each member with an opportunity to participate and thereby influences decision making. So in the process of decision making, each and every learner have the opportunity and they participate. That's why it is very much active learning. So face-to-face learning situations promote an atmosphere of cooperation and empathy seldom achieved in other learning situations. Then it encourages broader skills of cooperation and negotiation, and it promotes learner autonomy. So this is all about the advantages of cooperative learning. And what is some disadvantages are also there, like sometimes in cooperative learning, the class may be noisy, indiscipline may happen. Sometimes due to indiscipline, students may not show interest for learning. So this is all about the disadvantages. Then the role of the teachers. The role of teachers also play an important role in cooperative learning. Teachers should should produce a or give a conducive environment. The teachers can merely provide a setting and atmosphere in which Such attitudes and behaviors may develop. Careful encouragement and direction is needed constantly by the teacher. The teacher creates and maintains a mutual feeling of responsibility to achieve group goals, and the teacher is responsible for cooperative learning. So this is all about our cooperative learning. Then, what is group activities? First is think, pair, share, role play, jigsaw. Then your circle of voices, snowball groups, pyramids, and fizz balls. This is all these things written in your reading materials. I don't think that should be discussed. So, discussion method. What is discussion method? We have already discussed. Here, I will say some characteristics of discussion method. In discussion method is based on the exchange of ideas, concepts, and information among learners. It provides learners opportunity to express freely their ideas. When shared among the group members, it develops clarity of ideas. It is group-centered, therefore, it stimulates mental activity of each of the members of the group. Then, in this method, there is a high probability that there is an agreement or disagreement among the group members related to acceptance of an idea. Then, it is oral method of instruction. It trains the learners for reflective thinking. So, this is all about your discussion method. So what is the components of discussion method? The leader is there, group is there, problem is there, content is there. So in discussion method, these are the things: leader, group, problem, and content. And the procedure or organization of discussion method is planning discussion, preparedness, conduct discussion, and evaluation. And the advantages are it helps in clarifying issues, it helps in crystallizing the thinking process, and it helps learners to discover what they do not know. Discussion is reflective practices, it builds social skills among learners. And disadvantages is it is not suitable for all topics. Class may turn into marketplace. Then confusion may arise as a result of poor management, and often discussion may go off the track, resulting into non-achievement or desired objectives. Then context-specific approaches. What is context-specific approaches? This method of instruction is the most important link in the total teaching learning process. It is a link between the predetermined objectives and the change in the behavior of the learner. So, in the context-specific approaches, that also you may in your workshop, it will vividly describe in front of you. So, still I want to discuss some points. In a context-specific approach, instruction is eclectic. Instruction is tied directly to the success of the learning experiences. Again, instruction is empowered professional practice in action. And again, instruction integrates the components of the core curriculum. Instruction is generative and dynamic. Instruction acknowledges a comprehensive understanding of the instructional cycle, and instructions finds best expression when educators elaborate to develop, implement, and refine their professional practices. This is all about your contextual specific approaches. Then comes to teaching learning resources. We know very well that teachers also need some resources for their to make their teaching an effective teaching lesson. Like we need resources, and we can divide our resources or teaching learning aids into three different categories. One is audio aids, visual aids, and audiovisual aids. So these aids are very much necessary in our classroom teaching, because when a teacher uses all these audiovisual aids in the classroom, that will automatically arouse the interest level of the students, and the teaching will be more effective. So, according to Klaus, teaching learning resources are tools that classroom teachers use to help their learners learn quickly and thoroughly. A teaching aid can be as simple as a chalkboard and as complex as a computer program. So from chalkboard to computer program, all comes under our teaching learning aids, or we can say as teaching learning resources. And in audio teaching learning resources, our radio, tape recorder, audio CD, gramophone, all comes under your audio teaching learning resources. Visual teaching learning resources, like our panel board, flashcards, real object, bulletin board comes, and your audio visual teaching aids. All both the combined things comes under your audio visual aids. TV, your cinema, all these things. So this is also very much needed in our classroom. Then classroom as a resource. We can consider classroom is a resource. If a classroom is very much well equipped with electronic devices, the laboratory is well equipped. That means we can say that our classroom is a resource for a teacher. So the classroom should be well equipped for the teachers or for the effective teaching learning process. So to create classroom as a resource room, a teacher should follow these steps. Like the teaching technique of the teachers and attributes of the teachers also influence the classroom, and the laboratories and the classroom should be equipped with well maintained and with some innovative electronic devices. And to make the classroom as a resource, a teacher can use various innovative learning and teaching methods, techniques and strategies as per the content and level of the learners to make the classroom as a resource instruction, which is the main function of the class, should be on optimum level. The determinants of the good classroom instruction are the relationships and interactions between teachers, learners, materials, and their environment. So, a classroom can be considered as a resource for the teachers. So, smart classes are there. Technologies are used in nowadays for to make our classroom a resource room. Then community as a learning resource. We can consider community is also a learning resource, because we are not learning in the classroom only. We learn so many things from our community. And our community people, they also uh, they have some influence in our learning process. And sometimes the community persons, they act as the guidance, they provide us guidance service. Sometimes we welcome some lecture of guests from our community. Community participation is sometimes we need in Ganesh Puja, in Saraswati Puja, in Independence Day, on Gandhi Jayanti, or on some special occasions. We also invite some guest, some resource person from our community to say some few good things in front of our children. And sometimes citizens of actions are there. We welcome them from the community. Then libraries are also available in the community. Nature centers are there in the community. Museums, historical sites, art centers, volunteering, all these things are available in the community. So community also play an important resource of teaching learning process. Learners learn so many things not only from the classroom but also from the community. So community in our society or in our community, there is libraries, there is temples, there is some art centers, there is some museums, historical sites. So from all these centers, we learn so many things. Some nature centers like zoo, like botanical gardens are there. So learners got some opportunity to go there and learn so many things. So we can consider community as a very good resource center. Then improvised resources. So what is improvised resources? Improvised resources means an act of using alternative resources to facilitate instruction for teaching wherever there is a lack of specific first-hand teaching aids. So the role of teacher in improvised resources is very important. A teacher can use or following skills to for the improvisation of the teaching aids. So different writing styles, lettering and painting, use of different colors and graphics, modeling techniques, blackboard chalk, craft work, blank world and Indian map, textbook, mathematical tablets, logbooks, cardboards, newspapers, cell phones, all are used can be used as improvised resources. And what are the advantages of resources? That these resources gives us permanent knowledge, and very low cost improvised resources make teaching learning process easier. Improvised resources motivate learners. Then also these things arouse the interest level of the students. These are the advantages of improvised teaching aids. Then what is the ICT? ICT advantages of ICT and multimedia. ICT and multimedia learning resources also very much resourceful, very much important for the teaching learning process. So, what are the advantages of ICT learning? ICT learning that promotes learning by doing approach. ICT tools can promote active learning and enable self-pacing learning and provides access to wide range of up-to-date learning materials, and it enriches learning through a combination of audio, video, images, text and animation. And also it enhances learning through interaction and collaboration. And ICT has positive impact on learners' performances in primary schools, particularly in English and less in science. And due to good ICT use, the educational achievement of the students increases, and people are more motivated through ICT learning. So ICT learning, this is a very good method for nowadays. And what factors affecting the use of ICT and multimedia? So unavailability of infrastructural facilities. In our schools, if there is no electricity facility, then the computers, the television, everything is useless. So, in unavailability of infrastructural facilities, inadequate training or lack of training, then inadequate capital on the part of the individual, and lack of time to spend on technology, cost of technology, negative perception of older people for multimedia and ICT, lack of power supply, lack of perceived economic or other benefits, lack of understanding of the value of possible benefits and multimedia facilities, and wrong choice of software or software engineering. These are the disadvantages of ICT. So then come to managing classroom teaching learning. Uh, how a teacher manages the classroom teaching learning process. The teacher as a manager, so the time management should be there. Teacher as a manager, he has to do so many works. So what are the principles of classroom management? So the first principle is principle of clarity and mastery over content. The teacher have mastery over the content, then only the classroom management will be possible. Then principle of involvement. If the teacher will involve the pupils in a correct manner, then teaching learning process will be effective. Then principle of democratic behavior. In the classroom, the teacher should give freedom to express the ideas and share the ideas by the students. So then only teaching learning process will be effective. Then principle of teacher's behavior. So this should be followed. The principle of self-control. Self-control should be there both for the cases of learners and teachers. Then principle of flexibility. Teachers should not be rigid. If someone asks some question, the teacher don't stick to his time. So he should be flexible. So flexibility should be maintained in the teaching learning process. That is another principle of school management. Then principle of personal attributes. These are the things. Then managing a classroom. So what factors influence the classroom management? First is effective instructions. Effective instructions that ultimately affects the school management, or we can say that if there is interference of your administrative staff, that also affect the management of the classroom. So which factors mainly affect? Inefficiency of the teacher to manage the class, lack of principles, indiscipline, class environment should be conducive, external interference of the school management, external interference of the public by the teacher, or feedback should be given. Feedback should be given by the teacher on appropriate behavior of the student. So These are the things which affect the classroom management. Then, what strategies should be followed for managing inclusive classroom? Nowadays, inclusive classroom is a new topic because it is not possible on the part of the government to establish different type of schools for differently able students or for children with special needs. So sometimes we include those students in the general classroom, and those classes are called the inclusive classroom. And inclusive classroom, in inclusive classroom, like children who have some physical disability, children who have some visual disability, vision disability, children who have some auditory disability. For those students, we can include if their disability is very much little. If severely they are disabled, then it is not possible. So inclusive classroom, through inclusive classroom, we can give justice to those students who wants to come to the school, but they don't get the facility of special schools. So strategies of managing inclusive classroom: first is know your learner, know your resources, universal design of learning, or collaborative and cooperative learning strategies, supportive behavior, and classroom settings, and variety in teaching methods. Then managing behavioral problems in classroom. In inclusive classroom, so many types of students are there. So how the teacher will be able to manage them? So preventive measures should be taken by the teacher. Then effective classroom rules should be maintained. Non-verbal communication should be maintained. The teachers also sometimes, to keep discipline, teachers will not sometimes, if someone speaks, he just. So these symbolical languages should be used by both by the teachers and the learners. Then only proper discipline will be maintained in the classroom. So non-verbal communication should be there. Cooperative learning strategies should be there. Academic support should be there. Parental involvement should be there. Then only, without, unless parents support the teacher, sometimes it is very much difficult on the part of the teacher to do his work properly. So parental involvement sometimes is required. So then some supportive measures should be taken, like positive behavior support, then extinction and redirection, conflict resolution skills should be taken, curricular adaptation, then replacement skills. Then management. So management of time is very much important. How the teacher should manage the time? First is the use of classroom time, available time, allotted time, engaged time, academic learning time, pacing, and transaction time. All these things should be taken care of by the teacher. Then, so this is all about your teaching learning process. And the end, I would like to say you that as a teacher, we must think that we are different, our learners are different, we are unique, and our learning process should be unique, and we should follow unique methods which will be effective for our learners. Not that what the government is saying, not that what others are doing. No, my learners are different from others' learners. If I will tell my thing, that means I am dealing with rural students. They are different from urban students. So there is individual difference. So it is the duty of the teacher. He should look what is the aspiration of the students, what is the wants of the students, what is the need of the student, what is the aspiration, what is the need, what is their interest, what is their intelligence level. After knowing all the psychological, physical, physiological, or solve all problems of the students, the teachers should teach accordingly. That's my point. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nanda. Now it is time for interaction. Dear students, before I give
Sorry, sir, I am 5 minutes late.
no problem, no problem, because there is no time limitation here in this classroom setting. So there is absolutely no problem. And after taking the questions, I will give my concluding remark and then we will wind up. Students, if you have any question, is there any question in the chat box? Let me see. And then we'll take up one after another. Uh, Gauri Shankar Tripathi is asking, what are the important that is not importance of unit planning in a subject. He's writing important, but that should be importance. What is the importance of unit planning in a subject? Unit planning is definitely important. You see, teaching is a planned activity. Teaching is absolutely not an unplanned activity. So as we do proper planning for doing anything, in the similar fashion, we should also plan our lesson. So when you want to teach a particular unit, whatever planning you require, that should be very clear, and that should be very convenient to handle, isn't it? So unit planning is definitely important. So he's not asking about how to do unit planning, he's asking about the importance. Importance is definitely there. Then somebody is asking, what is that? Somebody is asking about brainstorming or something. One second, let me see. Bijan Bihari Das is asking constructivist approach. Constructivist approach. I think this particular thing relates to yesterday's presentation or today's presentation.
Sir, yesterday there is also constructivism, today also constructivism.
So if you can speak something on that, it would be better.
Okay, sir. So in constructive approach, students not only they construct their own ideas and knowledge, they are not imposed. So after interacting with their surrounding, they just construct their own ideas. That is constructivism. So we should give importance to the independent thinking of the children. Then only constructive ideas come up. So constructive activist approach means we should give importance to learner-centered approach.
Satyaprakash Sahu is asking, what is diverse learner?
Diverse learners. Diverse learners means different type of learners. They are diverse in their languages, in their socio-cultural diversity, their psychological traits, their aspirations, their physical disability. So all these comes under your diverse elements.
Okay.
That is diversity.
Snigdha Mai Naik is asking difference between heuristic method and problem solving method.
Okay. In heuristic method, we are following the introduction, presentation, and evaluation. The primitive method, that means in we are following 3 steps: introduction, presentation, and your evaluation. But nowadays we are giving importance to problem solving, and problem solving method that comes under your 5E model.
Yes. And
Yes.
5E model, 5E model, people must have understood that
The 5E model is first is engage, explore, explain, elaborate, and evaluate.
Yes. So this 5E model is definitely useful, and now people must be well conversant with this 5E.
That comes under the constructivism.
Constructivism, exactly.
Constructive approach.
Okay.
That comes under constructive approach.
Okay. Is there any other question? I think there is no other question here. Dear students, if you have any other question, you can put it up there in the chat box. Otherwise, we will wind up. Somebody is asking about difference between model, method, and approach. Model, method, and approach. Not between. What is a model, what is a method, and what is approach?
Model, method, and approach.
Approach.
Okay. So method means the method generally model is a psychological term. Model depends upon the psychological traits. Like we can our teaching style, that is a model. But method means which the teachers are following in the classroom teaching learning process. Like that they may use heuristic method, they may use problem solving method, they may use lecture method, discussion method. So these are methods. and models are the psychological that taken by psychological that comes through the psychological methods, and approaches are the practical aspect. That means when we are using some methods with that, some new approaches means that is sometimes that is related, but approaches, the models are depending upon psychological things. Method is used in the classroom by the teacher with that models, and approach is also similar with methods.
Okay. Joyasri Giri is asking about brainstorming method.
Okay, sir.
Joyasri Giri, you must be knowing brainstorming is a method which is normally adopted in the higher level of learning. You see, maybe in the higher education stage, in the university stage, or in the college stage, normally teachers use brainstorming. Brainstorming is not a suitable method for the primary school children. So brainstorming is nothing but leaving a problem in front of a group of learners. So let all the learners think about that problem and come out with a solution, isn't it? So normally brainstorming method is used when there is shortage of time. If the teacher has little time at his or her disposal to complete a particular task, what he or she should do normally, what the teachers do, they use this brainstorming.
No, sir.
Leave.
Also brainstorming is used to for a new idea, for a new method, for a new concept.
Yes,
Because
true.
students, when the students are aware of 90% things, teachers know that they know very well. Through brainstorming, some new concepts may come. So,
Exactly.
yes, sir.
Naturally, 40 minds are better than one mind. If there
Yes,
are 40 students in a classroom, 40 minds will work. So definitely something or the other will come. It is just like churning of milk, isn't it? It's just like churning of milk. If you churn the milk, what will come? Cream will come. So definitely 40 minds will churn, something precious will come out, and that precious is the most important information that you will have. So brainstorming is something very important.
sir, active learning will be possible through brainstorming.
Yes, yes, of course. Okay, then I think there is no other question in the chat box. Dear students, would you like to put up any question? If you want to ask any question also, you can come online. You can unmute your speaker and you can ask straight away. Namaskar.
Hello, sir. Namaste. Sir, how teaching in an inclusive classroom will be success?
It all depends on it all depends on your ability and your training. You see, nowadays in the training institutions, different kinds of skills are imparted to the teachers how to deal with children with special needs. You see, there are learners, common learners, and along with them, there are learners who may be deaf or dumb, who may be a blind person or maybe a lame person. So many physically disabled learners also join in the normal classroom settings. So if you want to deal with this kind of learners, you need to have a different kind of ability, different kind of skill, isn't it? Normal teaching will not be effective for them, and you should support them in whatever way it is possible. If there is a blind student, then at least the software with which the blind learners are learning, you should at least give them some information where they can procure all these things. The different commissions who are providing financial assistance to these kind of learners, you should also give them. So like that, you know, you should give them support, administrative support as well as academic support in whatever way it is possible. Special attention is required for them. Okay. So, entire group in the, to entire group, you have to deal with each one of them effectively. That means the concept of inclusiveness must be maintained, and it must be maintained in true spirit. Then only you will be effective in your teaching, and the learner, the disabled learners, will be benefited from your teaching.
Okay, thank you, sir.
So,
Sir, in the chat box, I see somebody is asking about maxims of teaching.
yes, maximum of teaching.
So, maxims of teaching means the principles of teaching. When the
Yes.
teacher teaches in the class, what rules he should follow? That
Yes.
is the maxims of teaching.
Yes. Normally, you see, when we think about maxims of teaching, we normally think about how we proceed from simple to complex, from known to unknown,
Known to unknown,
from
whole
concrete
to
to
part,
abstract,
whole
from
to
direct
part,
to
yes,
indirect, from particular to general, from analysis to
inductive to
synthesis,
deductive. Sir.
isn't it? Inductive to deductive, from indefinite to definite. So these are the skills. These are different skills every teacher must be aware of. If you start teaching difficult things, the learners will not be able to take. But if you start teaching simple things fast, then they will show interest. Simply go on teaching simple things and then complex things. So from simple to complex, from what they know. If you want to teach the concept of Ramayana, you just teach them what they know already, isn't it? From there, if you start, then gradually they will show interest, and they will go to what they have not known. That means from known to unknown, from simple to complex, from direct to indirect, from analysis to synthesis, from indefinite to definite, isn't it? So like that, things should proceed. Our teaching, learning should proceed, and this should be the cardinal principle. Did you get the point?
हेलो सर.
Yes,
हेलो
please.
सर, नमस्ते.
Namaskar.
सर, जो मैगजीन्स ऑफ टीचिंग रे अछि एम्पिरिकल टू रैशनल, सेटा टिके जानिबा को चाहूँ.
Empirical to rational.
सर,
Madam, can you tell this concept if it is there in the study material?
Sir, empirical to rational means from individual to a group to universal, from
Okay.
particular to general. That is from empirical to personal.
Okay.
thank you.
From a single case to universal case.
Universal case.
Sir.
I think our student must have got it. Our student must have got the point. Okay. Okay. Is there anybody on the line who wants to put question?
Sir, namaskar.
Namaskar.
Sir, I want to change my elective courses.
That is an administrative question. That is very simple. You can contact the regional center, but not now. Nobody is there.
Sir.
So but in B.Ed program, I think change of elective is not permissible.
Sir. Okay, sir. Thank you.
That we will see. That we will see later. You see, change of elective in B.Ed is very difficult. You see, because seat limitation is there, isn't it? And there will be imbalance. There will be imbalance. Suppose if everybody starts choosing one subject, and in another subject only 2-3 students are there, so there will be imbalance. So normally we have to strike a balance, isn't it? So we'll see. We'll definitely try. If it is possible, then we will do. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Anybody wants to put question, or else we will wind up.
Sir, namaskar.
Namaskar.
Sir, my question is, what is the difference between approach and method?
This is already replied. This is replied. Somebody asked this question: model, approach, and method. And Madam Dr. Nanda has already clarified method, approach, and model.
Sir.
Sir, namaskar.
Yes.
Hello.
Namaskar.
Sir, my question is, what is the difference between learning through ICT and learning with ICT?
what do you mean by ICT? You tell me first. Then everything will be made clear.
ICT means learning through computer assisted learning.
ICT is information and communication technology, isn't it? Nowadays you see
Yes.
the chalk and talk method has been redundant. ICT has taken over. You see today, take for example today, we are using ICT in interacting with each other. Dr. Nanda is teaching you using ICT, isn't it? Through online platforms, he is teaching you. That means classroom, it is a virtual classroom. It is a virtual classroom. We call it a virtual classroom. Physical classroom is not possible because you cannot go to the study centers. Therefore, we have set up a virtual classroom with a different login ID and password. And in this virtual classroom, we are talking to each other. So this is use of ICT. In the similar fashion, you see, ICT is used or in many ways, ICT is used in the classroom situation. For example, your LCD projector, that is also a part of ICT. When you are showing something using internet and flashing it there through your LCD projector in front of your students, so that is something use of ICT. Then you are using electronic board, that is a part of ICT. When you are using a CD-ROM and playing it in front of the students with the help of a computer, that is also use of ICT. When you are using mobile technology, isn't it, and using it in your teaching and learning, that is use of ICT. So ICT is it's a very noble concept. It's a noble thing which has come to the field of teaching and learning. So now a revolution has come in the field of teaching and learning due to this intervention of modern information and communication technology. Okay, so we as teachers must be well conversant with whatever technology is coming in our way, isn't it? Time was there when mobile was a daydream, isn't it? Now mobile is a common element. Everybody is having a mobile set. Everybody is having a computer, isn't it? So things are changing very fast, and we as teachers must keep pace with the changing time. And our teaching learning situation should also see the pace of new modern communication technology, isn't it? Our learners, you see, time was there when learners were not having access to everything. Now you see 150, 160 students are participating. That means they have either a mobile with internet connectivity or a laptop or a desktop with internet connectivity. So similarly, everywhere it has come as a revolution, isn't it? And it has a lot of positive effects. Of course, there are many negative effects, but let us not think about the negative effects. But there are lots of positive effects in our teaching learning environment or situation. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Any other question? Dear students, any other question? You see, as a teacher, since you are all practicing teachers doing this BEd program, can anyone listen to me?
Yes.
Listen to me. Since you are all practicing teachers working in different schools, can any one of you tell me, what should be the most important, or two, three, not, there are many qualities, what should be minimum three important qualities on the part of a teacher with which he can influence his students or learners? Okay, you ask your question first, and then this question will be answered. Vision, you are asking a question. Who was asking a question? Please come online. You see, as a teacher, normally our most important thing is to be punctual.
Sir,
Please come online. Yes.
sir, I want to know about career stage factors, teaching style. What is career stage factors?
Career stage factor. Madam,
Yes.
can you reply to it? If there is anything specific, otherwise I will reply in general. If there is any specific information in the study material.
In study materials and
Career stage factor. Teaching style. He's asking
teaching
about teaching
styles,
style.
that comes in the teaching style.
Hello.
Please wait. Just looking at the study material, because it is a specific question.
But I am giving the answer in a general. I am not getting it from this book.
You see, yeah, exactly. No problem. Dear student, first of all, I would advise you to go through your study material. If at all that is there, that concept is there, please get the explanation which is there. Otherwise, you see, career concept model is, you see, everything is, it's a kind of, what should I say? It relates to a job, not employment. I'm not talking about employment. It relates to a particular job. Activity, it is activity oriented, or it should be what should I say, activity oriented or job oriented, isn't it? The work that you do there in the classroom should be directed towards certain activity, what I personally feel. But if there is anything specific you can get from the study material, it is also a new concept which has been incorporated. I don't know.
There are actually teaching styles.
Okay.
Teaching styles, there are 6 types of things that are included. First is curriculum factors, knowledge factors, personal factors, professional factors, and institutional factors. And career stage factors means sometimes you are learning for a particular goal, for a particular career, or for a particular job. So that also included in our teaching style. If a child wants to, so first the duty of the teacher, he should know that what is the what qualities that student or the particular student have, and he should explore what innate potentialities should be there in that learner for that particular career. Then he should give some guidance regarding that particular career, and he should guide him for particular in
Yes,
training
yes,
program. That
yes.
is teaching, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Dear student, now it is clear. You see,
Yes, sir. Yes,
you know,
sir. The
there are many learners. Listen to me. There are many learners. Suppose one learner is interested to become a doctor.
yes,
Another learner is interested to become a teacher. The third learner is interested to become an engineer. So accordingly, the career guidance, or the teaching model should be adopted, so that proper coaching or proper instruction will be imparted to that particular students towards that career, isn't it? It is a
yes,
kind of creating that kind of aptitude in the learner.
But
yes,
actually, sometimes it happens that some children have interest in engineering, but he has no aptitude for that particular career. So the
Yes,
teacher's role is just to explore that really what aptitude the student have or the learner have. Then only he guide him accordingly. That
exactly.
will be more effective.
yes.
To explore that.
Identification of aptitude, and accordingly
Yes, sir.
giving
And
treatment.
That is important. Yes, sir. You are right.
yes,
Okay,
yes, sir.
okay.
Thank you, sir.
It is something which is very important question, and very good questions also. I learned it from you.
Thank you, sir. Sir, your question, I want to answer something about your question that which you have asked. The a
Very
teacher must
important.
a teacher can be effective. First one is his sharp content knowledge and to understand his learner and how his presentation must be effective.
Yeah, all right. There are many things, but one most important thing is to avoid. First is punctuality. The teacher should be very punctual, and the second most important thing is avoiding procrastination. Normally, it is seen that the teacher defers things. They start on deferring things. If you start defer, and if it is known to the children, then your image will be tarnished, isn't it? That means the child will not have that kind of image in his mind. So avoid procrastination and try to give justice to the question put forth by the student. You see, saying that I do not know this question at the moment is no problem. You can tell the student, dear student, this question is not known to, the answer is not known to me right now. The answer will be given next time or on such and such date. So that can be done, but straightly avoiding, or suppose if you are expected to teach something today and you do not teach, you
Yes.
just prefer things that, oh, okay, this thing I will teach some other day. If you just start doing that, this gives a negative impact in the mind of the learners. So please be careful, since you are all teachers developing your career in teaching profession. So please be careful about it.
Sir, I want to add something.
Please.
Sir, actually, teachers are the role models. So teachers are always observed by the students. So right proper type of behavior should be shown by the teachers in front of the students, and the teachers should not tell lie. Teachers should not should give justice to each and everybody.
Yes,
So
it is.
democratic classroom conditions should be given to the learners. Then only
True.
teaching learning process will be effective.
True, very true. There are many things, many qualities that teachers should imbibe.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is all, friends. We have come to the end of this today's presentation. So before concluding, I must thank Joyashree Madam, who
Thank you,
took a
sir.
marathon session again today. It was a very lengthy discussion, starting from teaching, whether it is science or it is art, to teaching as a profession, and then inclusive education. It's a very long journey. I was just keenly observing, keenly listening to the presentation. It was something very interesting and very encouraging, and our students must have gained quite a lot of information and knowledge out of the presentation made by Dr. Nanda. So thank you very much. And I am also very much thankful to the learners who showed interest in participating in the online classroom created by IGNOU Regional Center Bhubaneswar, specifically for B.Ed learners. So please tell your friends to join in large numbers, because the capacity is 250 and we are having only 130, 120, like that. Whomsoever you know, please pass it on to them so that they will also log in and take the benefit of this online class. Dear students, please inform your friends and join in large number, because MHRD is minutely observing. The report is being sent to Ministry of Human Resource Development every weekend. Okay, so government is very minutely observing whether teachers are teaching and students are learning or not. Teaching, learning is important. So every university is sending report, which university is doing what, whether our learners are really benefiting or not benefiting. So this is the whole whole issue. So this is the reason we are in front of you. So thank you very much for your participation. So we shall be joining this online class tomorrow exactly at 2 p.m. with the last block, the block 4th of BES-123, and then presentation will start. And like today's presentation, we'll also take up your question and answer to them one after another. So thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you.